Hello and welcome back to Pints with Pals. My name's Mike. Joining with me today is Jeremy. Say hi, Jeremy.
Jeremy. Hi, Jeremy. So
Today-
the character from South Park, Timmy.
Jimmy. We're doing another beer brought to you by Yazoo.
Yeah, heck yeah.
This is called the Calla IPA. Calla
Right.
isn't like a California IPA, I don't think. Based on the
No.
description, it says
Oh, crap, it's
just a
foamer. It's a big foamer. Fucking hell.
mine didn't foam.
I'll be right back.
After these messages,
Dang it.
I'll be right back. So mine is not foaming at the moment. So I don't know what.
Well, it's a good thing when I bought this mouse pad here, they gave me 5 instead of just the one I ordered. So no real loss here, I guess, right? Ooh, that's an interesting color. Let's see.
Definitely hazy. Whoop! Oh no! Don't pour it all in there.
You got the yeasties.
Yeah.
Okay, I stopped.
So it's for sure very tangerine forward. I went into this thinking I wasn't going to like it because I'm not a huge fan of IPA.
Wow, that's actually
But this,
mild.
yeah, this one smells, and it could be a little age too because of like 6 months, 6 to 8 months or whatever. But I think that I tend to enjoy a tropical IPA more than a traditional grapefruit forward IPA.
Right. I do get a little bit of like a minty. towards the end.
Yeah. So
I was trying to figure out because they described it. I was like, they use lush hops, which I've never heard of before. Has notes of tangerine, creamy mint, and grapefruit, with a finishing with a soft body. And it does is very mild on the mouth. But yeah, at the
That
very end, you
mint-
get the little mint. Yeah,
yeah, it's like
a whisk. A whisper.
it's like you're smoking what are those green
Cools.
cigarettes? Yeah, the cool with the menthol. It's like got a menthol characteristic to
Well,
it.
it's not bad. Oh, this is actually pretty pleasant.
That is really trippy.
Yeah, it comes in at what 6% ABV. But they don't know what the IBU is. So is it on the can at all?
I don't see it, no.
So whatever just changes depending on how much of the lush hops they get.
Yeah. So this is another one out of the Nashville area. So Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the last one we did, we have a 12 pack that came with 4 different cans, which is typically I'm not a huge fan of that kind of stuff because then I end up, well, a lot of times we get like a weird flavor pack of something. It's like, here's Dos Equis and one's lime, one's lemon, one's orange, and one's tangerine. It's like, okay, well, they're all
It's
kind
dirt.
of, yeah.
No, I like this. I could. It's mellow. Like I would.
The mint,
That's not bad at all.
I feel like the mint takes the bitterness away like almost immediately. So it's like starting to build, and then as soon as you exhale, the mint is like cooling your mouth down. That's so weird. Creamy mint. I don't know that I've ever had anything that described itself as a creamy mint.
No. Well, yeah. Think of Andy's.
Oh yeah.
It's a chocolate mint, but it's creamy and blah blah blah. I think what they're getting at is it's a soft body beer, so causing it to be a little more chill, more relaxed. One thing they don't mention is like what the grain build is at all. So I wonder like how much flaked oats, if they use any at all, or because it is really hazy.
Mine didn't. Yeah, I guess it is. I said mine didn't look that hazy, but it definitely like the last little bit of the yeast cake kind of folded.
I wonder if Jason would like this.
Yeah, he's gonna have to try all of these and put his rating in so that we can do the end of the year thing.
Yeah.
So this, it's weird. It's not that they. I didn't even realize this because I just clicked on the website, and it's like they literally on the website for the thing have a question mark in the IBU column. It's not that like, it's not that it wasn't on there, so nobody knows. It's like there's like
It's
we can't
something.
figure it out. I wonder if oh, it's kind of funny that it gives you an OG and a final gravity on there though. Like it said an OG of 12, well whatever the plateau, the 12.1
yeah.
or whatever. And then final gravity of 1.9. That's so cool. So this is technically in the tap room is in Madison, Tennessee.
Mhm.
And if you guys are in the area, they're open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday and Tuesday. Nope. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday, they're open till 10. It's a really
I'm not
weird
sure
way
if also we actually promoted a brewery.
No, I don't think we
some
did.
kickback.
I was on the on their website trying to like to see. They don't have a whole hell of a lot of information other than like named after the Lilla's favorite flower.
Yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah, with bursts forth with lush hop notes, tangerine, creamy mint, and grapefruit finishing with a soft body. And I would agree with everything except for I don't get much grapefruit, I don't think.
No.
I get more tangerine than grapefruit.
So I did a quick conversion on the Play-Doh thing. So the original gravity is 1048. Did it finish off at 1.9?
1.9.
And finished it at. Oh, is it not going to be helpful this time around? Almost 10.6. So it's pretty neat. Yeah, I've never used Play-Doh before. You do Play-Doh. There's one of the bricks. I don't do bricks either. I just do Pacific Gravity. Just makes sense to me. Plus, that's what my hydrometer is. And what is the other thing I use? I talk about it all the time and I forgot.
You mean that thing that you measure it during the boil?
Yeah.
The mass spectrometer?
Yeah, close.
I can't remember what it is. Brick?
Yeah.
Something for bricks.
It has both on there. It has bricks and
oh, that's right.
With, Pacific Gravity.
I didn't realize you couldn't use those after the effervescent alcohol. You can only use them like during the boil, basically, or during the mashing process, and before you, ferment.
Right, and I've seen people use it after they ferment too, and I don't understand because I've never gotten the correct.
Yeah, everything I've seen, they say that basically it doesn't provide the correct reading because of the alcohol skews the wavelengths of it or whatever. So
you probably will, yeah, for sure. Very much so.
After tasting this, do you feel like so you've prepared a recipe? Do you think that that's so? I see that there's nothing to provide the mint. Do you know? Oh wait, there's hops too.
I got a lot of different hops, but nothing for minty flavor. I didn't even take that into consideration. I just picked hops that I knew and like. But I guess before we actually get to that part, we actually get our official rating.
Oh yeah.
Yet.
Yep, I forgot.
You're slipping. I'll let you go first.
Slipping. I don't love it, but for an IPA, I think it's probably one of the better ones. I would probably give it like a flat 3.
Flat 3
overall. I don't want to lower it
5.
past that because I don't think it's bad, but it's.
I give it a 3. I give it a 3 to a 5. Basically, kind of what you're saying. It's very good. I enjoy it. It's easy drinking, but is one of my favorite. IPAs now. I've had other ones that just wow. I mean, this still wows me just for the whole minty flavor thing. It's just weird, but I can't justify giving too much points based on that either. You know.
No, it's definitely a creative thing, and I think that if you're in the area or see one, I think it's worthwhile to try, especially if you're an IPA fan. It's neat to like try something different that kind of outside of the box. It's not overly bitter, so the IBUs aren't that high. I wouldn't put this IBU like super high. But yeah, I think that there's a uniqueness to this beer that is unmatched so far.
Yeah, most definitely. It's definitely. Oh, let's get over. I enjoy it. Oh, pardon me.
So
but yeah,
what,
so I went with a New England IPA. Kind of what, because I assumed this was going to be hazy and fruity and tropical, and wasn't too far off. I mean, not really tropical, but definitely hazy. Everything else. So
I think that's for me, the tangerine notes push it into that tropical area. It's like a mojito and one of those tangerine mixes or drinks like mushed together, in my opinion.
Right. Really, yeah, very well could be. Yeah, so I can't remember how big of a batch this makes. I feel like it's bigger than 5 gallons. I don't remember now. I didn't brew follow, but I copied everything. I threw it in our notes here. But yeah, so your base malt's about almost 11 pounds of 2-row malt. Almost a pound and a half of American wheat. Again, that's just to give it body, color, flavor. About another pound and a half of flaked oats, again, to make it creamy on the tongue, a little more, I guess, opaque. Some honey malt, because I think that'd add a nice little kiss of something there. Just a little bit of something. I would say probably mash this in about 152 degrees for an hour. I think we talked about this in the past though too, because watching any of the Brulosophy stuff, like 60 minutes, it may be a little overkill. You could probably get away with like 30 minutes. Maybe we could add that to our show notes when they have them go watch that video. It's actually pretty cool. Wanted to watch them figure out the difference between 30, 45, and an hour. Does it make a difference? Does it not? So at the boil, so a lot of this stuff is late addition. So a lot of the flavoring is going to come after, like, it'll be dry hopping. So at the last 15 minutes, you're going to add in 1.5 ounces of Citra, 1.5 ounces of Galaxy, and 1.5 ounces of Mosaic. So you're going to get you're going to get citrus, you're going to get blueberry, guava, all kind of crazy flavors in there. At the 10-minute mark, you're going to do 1 ounce of Citra, 1 ounce of Galaxy. And where your big flavor profile and the aroma is really going to come as all the stuff you add and towards the end. So for 7 days, you're going to add in 1 ounce of Citra, 1.5 ounces of Galaxy, and 1 ounce of Mosaic again. That's for 7 days. For a whole week, you're just letting this just absorb everything into it. And then for the last 3 days, you're going to add in 1.25 ounce of Citra, 1.5 ounce of Galaxy, and 1 ounce of Mosaic. And after that, you're just going to keg it and go about your business. I think this would be a very, very powerful explosion of flavors of a New England IPA for sure. For yeast, I guess I kind of skipped this around. I don't have this great order this time. I apologize. But for yeast, I was thinking about the London Ale3. It's a liquid yeast, and it seems to be pretty common from what I keep reading for a lot of like New England IPAs. Is this yeast, this strand right here, in particular? Well, yeah, I think this would be a pretty simple recipe to do. It's just making sure you keep up on the dry hopping. Dry hopping can be scary. The big thing you have to worry about is getting oxygen into this. Because if you get oxygen into a New England IPA, it turns purple. Turns all that hop matter, it will turn this thing into purple. It's pretty weird when that happens. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just, the oxygen just changes everything.
So there are only 3 different style or types of hops. You have Citra, Galaxy, and Mosaic. But there's a 10-minute edition and the 15-minute edition during the boil. while you're adding the Warthlock, do that. So then
Mhm.
it's not going to be, well, I guess the 7 days of it, I was going to say it's not going to be super bitter. Like, I feel like if you were to add it at the beginning, I guess, where it pulls
Right.
all of that astringency out of it. So, yeah, the 7 days of Citric Galaxy and Mosaic sound terrifying.
That'd be all right. I don't know. You like that one New England? Is it New England? No, it's a tropical. Well, I guess we New England at the end of the day. That bear hug or beer hug, whatever it's called. You like that one? I'm sure it's got all sorts of late day additions and stuff like that. Get all those crazy.
Yeah, that's the aromas that you're going to get. The grapefruit smells and the tangerine smells and stuff like that are from I'm guessing from the dry hopping, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, so certain hops add like those kind of flavors in too, like so Citra, Centennial.
That's what I mean. Like the dry hopping, I think, is where you're going to get the aromas from versus like the
aromas,
bitterness
yeah. Sorry, yeah.
during the boil.
Yeah.
Have you ever done anything with fresh hops? Have you ever?
No, I have not, because I have no idea how much to add.
Right. I was going to say, have you ever heard of anybody? We have a homebrew meeting at the end of this week. I was going to ask about it because Michigan's a pretty big, well, I think Tennessee probably would be too, but a pretty good area for growing hops. But then, like, what do you add? Because like typically when you're brewing your own beer, you get these like little pellets that look like guinea pig food of very strong smelling things. You put tiny amounts in it. Like an ounce of it is very little versus like the mash where it's like 10 pounds, and then you go to the section which is where I think a lot of people assume there's a ton of hops in it. It's like, well, I used 15 pounds of grain and then I used 4 ounces of hops. They're like, what? So.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that all gets down to like the alpha acid, beta acids, and all that kind of stuff though too. So once you understand what it imparts into the beer itself, then you kind of there's math, which we all love to do. No,
and the acidity really matters for IPAs too, because like if your acidity's off, it's not gonna taste the same. Is from what I'm hearing.
Well,
like oxygen and acidity. Well, I feel like more, well, maybe not more so, but I feel like it has a lot. That's what I hear on all the podcasts, and it's like I'm glad that I don't really like IPAs because I really don't want to brew one from all of the stuff.
Yeah, but you definitely have to watch pH balance on all the beers. That's why like I typically add brewing. So I use distilled water, no mineral in it whatsoever. So when I use the calculators, it'll give me an idea if I'm gonna be too high or too low. But I kind of have my own little guide I like to use for salts, like between calcium chloride and chalk, which are gypsum, same thing. Or I will even use like lactic one way or the other. I have a meter for that too. I don't think we've ever. Because besides just trusting the software, because the software can be so close, but I actually have a meter. I can actually draw a sample. I can test it. It'll tell me where it's at. Lactic acid or more salts to it, to the acid level of it.
Yeah, I have a lot of that stuff, but I just haven't really done it. I just trust, well, I like the beers that have been produced without messing with it from my tap water. So I'm just like, well, I'll just keep going until I get like either expensive, like I'm starting to use more and more expensive stuff, or a bigger beer or something like that. Then I'll probably start messing with that. Because like an imperial stout or something of that nature, those ones tend to be like, they require more yeast potentially because there's just so much alcohol that they have to consume, and then B, the acidity, sugars. Yeah, the sugars and acidity change as it's converting all those sugars. So you want to like try and keep that in there. But yeah, there's a lot of science that's involved that I don't think I'm prepared for yet.
I'm not either. I'm just taking my time. I like, just like you, I try to read, listen to whatever people say. I have to talk about. I have books that I've read, a few of them. I have a book on water chemistry I've got to open. I kind of want to one day. Maybe if we ever get a good winter storm, I'll sit down and crack it open and read it. Right now, I haven't done it at all.
Yeah. Well, that's a future episode for sure. Water chemistry, and especially when you start tasting some of my beers and can give me some pointers and critiques. So I feel like when I go to the beer club meetings, they're not as it's not as much about telling you what you did wrong. I think that they're probably afraid that it'll turn people off. Like, well, I'm like, here's what I made, and here's what it should be. Here's the recipe that I used. Is there anything that you're picking up that you've noticed that's bad or whatever? Like, what do you think I could do differently to make it better? So I think it's just going to be trial and error. I really should stop making 2 at a time, because like I'm not going to learn anything from the 2. So the last batch I did, I only have 1 of, but it's the same exact beer, just because I was reusing the yeast to try it. I drew a sample and that was delicious also. So I'm excited to kind of continue down this journey. But I have a hard time picking the next beer. But we'll see.
I already have some picked out, so maybe don't want some other time.
Alrighty. All right. Well, on that note, I just want to say thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to go have a pint with your pals.
Yeah, please drink responsibly. Like, comment, subscribe, join Discord, ask questions. We'd appreciate it.
Tell us what beer to drink next.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Cheers.
Cheers.